What's going on, guys? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Thank you for watching when you watch this later. But if you're joining now, thank you for joining. So let's get into She-Hulk episode 3. So, I just did a spoiler review on TikTok, so go check that out. So, it's on my TikTok. But, if you want to get a full, more uh, professional review of the show or the episode 3, go check it out on my TikTok and I'll upload it to YouTube later. But for now, let's just do a live stream discussion or really just my thoughts and review on episode 3. So, for me, this episode. Okay, so the first episode of She Hulk so far is probably my favorite. Second one kind of was short for me. It felt like more of an issue that I read from a comic book run, like a small issue, a couple pages, like 20 pages or 15. And with episode 3, kind of felt more like a. It was short. These show okay, so like all the shows, even the Disney Plus shows, except for WandaVision, like Moon Knight, Miss Marvel, Hawkeye, Loki, all those shows like in Miss Marvel, they felt like they were like about 40 minutes to an hour long, and when we come talking about like the Daredevil, Jessica Jones, and Punisher, Luke Cage, Iron Fist shows, they're about an hour long as well. But the only series so far that has only had about 30 minutes or shorter, kind of like She-Hulk so far, is WandaVision. But I think that's because they're like 9 episodes. 'Cause I think WandaVision and She-Hulk are like 9 episodes. So I think that's probably the reason why. But besides all that, I think the comedy, for the most part, was very subtle. It was in the right places at the right time. It didn't feel like it was kind of like it didn't feel like Thor: Love and Thunder. Thor: Love and Thunder was kind of beating you over the head with it, but with this episode, it felt very, I don't know, just it was like it wasn't forced, and it was actually delivered, and it was like organically given to you. So that being said, like I really did enjoy this episode. Neil Blonsky, had stand trial, trying to basically be freed, and we're like he's on a parole, or he's trying to he has to be monitored by the that arm bracelet thing that Bruce Banner had to keep his abomination thing at bay. He's not allowed to become abomination because he won the case, and but in this episode they had to. Jennifer Walters and Neil Blonsky had to stand up against the court people, the judges, or the people that overlook that kind of stuff, trying to prove that he is going to be a good citizen for society, going out of the asylum that they have, this prison base they have, and which we all know is going to lead to Thunderbolts, but. Like I like how Neil Blonsky was kind of like very chill, laid back, kind of subtle, but there's something about him. It's like, there's something there. There's something there. Even though he portrays himself as changed, there's something there. Which in that whole, because they showed these angel dressed ladies that are the 7 or 9 people that are his prison pals or whatever. So like we know that they're talking about Thunderbolts, but I really did enjoy. The one thing I really enjoy about this show so far, especially in this episode, is how they're emphasizing on the whole lawyer aspect of the show. I think that for the most part, like I kind of missed that from Daredevil, even though you can go back and watch these shows, but like I love how the show kind of just really gets. I really want to see Jennifer Walters like lawyer, her being a lawyer. I wanted to shine really good in this show. I feel like with Daredevil, like it was very limited the times that he would be in court, and when he was actually being a lawyer, he was kicking ass. And so, we know Daredevil is going to show up in this show. I kind of hope we get to see Jennifer and Matt go at it in the courtroom. I would love to see that. It would be like King Kong versus Godzilla, but in a lawyer level esque show. But I really did enjoy this. I mean, is it better? Me personally? I don't think is on par with episode one. It's not because Hulk is in there. It was really just how, I don't know. I felt like it was adding on to the MCU because I feel like a lot of these shows so far in the installments of the MCU, I feel like a lot of it has not been adding into the MCU's evolving storyline. And like Miss Marvel felt like that, and the only show that really did do that is WandaVision and Loki, and a little bit of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. But like Hawkeye, like yeah, they brought in Kingpin, but like it really just didn't progress the MCU as a whole story. And She-Hulk felt like it did for that first episode, and I can't wait to see what they're going to do going forward. I know we're coming up on the 4th episode, and so far, the people that got to see the first 4 episodes only know that. So after the 4th episode, we're kind of going into very unknown territory where they're going to go with the show. I feel like the boss, that the goons that tried to jump She-Hulk, whatever the boss that they were talking about, I feel like will be the main antagonist of the show. My theories on that, I don't know. I did mention in my TikTok review that it possibly could be Kingpin, the reason why Daredevil is going to LA. Why would, like, because that's the big question, right? Why would Daredevil, Matthew Murdock, literally go from the East Coast, New York City, where he lives at Hell's Kitchen, all the way out to LA? There is like literally no reason except for if a Avenger level of threat that they needed his help. But other than that, like, there is no reason. I mean, I guess for a lawyer case, but you would think they would probably get a lawyer that, like Jennifer Walters or any other lawyer that's in LA to be there for them. Unless I have a theory that this superhero branch that they have for now, like She-Hulk and Jennifer Walters, like their new superhero division, I think it's more than just one area. I think they have multiple areas around the country. Like in LA is where Jennifer Walters will be, but then she will be the face of, because she's the first real superhero to be a lawyer for the superhero division. I think what's going to happen is Matthew Murdock might become one of those lawyers, and he might be in the New York branch area of the superhero division, because you're going to need lawyers all over the country because there's superheroes everywhere, you know, not just in this country, but probably around the world, you know. And so I think that, with that being said, and I like how because one of my theories, like I had going into the show, that who were going to be some of the cameos, and I did mention the Asgardians, and they actually did show an Asgardian, the judge being a shapeshifter, which kind of intrigues me, because like I can't wait to see them, because they're like, you know, Miss Marvel, they kind of setting up the mutants and all that. I kind of hope we get like an actual mutant show up in the show, like someone that has actual legit mutant powers. I mean, yes, Miss Marvel technically did have, Miss Marvel had mutant powers. I can't wait to see what they do with the show and with Cameo. Hopefully it'll be a cameo, because it kind of like even referenced Wolverine in episode 2, because when she was looking for a job, on the side of that website, it said man with claws got into a bar fight. And also they referenced the Eternals with that big celestial popping up in the planet. But like I really, again, and let's talk about Megan Thee Stallion. Let's talk about Megan Thee Stallion, man. Okay, so my little brother is obsessed with like Megan Thee Stallion and Doja Cat and Nicki Minaj, and and I'm a casual fan. I'll listen to them, hear what they got. I'll casually listen to their stuff. And so it was really cool to see her, and I hope they kind of keep her in the show, because they kind of like are setting up her to actually be working with Jennifer Walters. Or I think what's happening is that, because I think in the show that she's actually Megan Thee Stallion, of course. So I think she's probably recruiting Jennifer Walters as a lawyer, just for her, like a business or lawyer or whatnot. So that's pretty cool. Hopefully maybe we might see her again. I probably not. But it was really nice to see her. I love how they used her for the side B plot of the show, and that's another thing that no other show in this whole like Marvel Disney Plus shows, like they've never had like a side B plot. Like even with the Marvel Netflix stuff, they always had side B plots. 'Cause you had Matt doing one thing, you had Karen doing another thing, and then you had Foggy doing another thing. And and that was other shows like Luke Cage and Iron Fist and Jessica Jones, Punisher. But like with the Disney Plus shows, they really didn't have a side B plot. Well, they kind of did in WandaVision, but when it comes to like Falcon and when I say side B plot, I mean like kind of like building towards a overall coming together story. And with episode 3, it kind of had that kind of come together where the lawyer dude recruited Jennifer Walters to speak as a witness for trying to go against the shape-shifting Asgardian judge guy or the girl. So anyway, but yeah, Megan Thee Stallion. Oh, by the way, on Twitter, Joe from TikTok, you kept going on Twitter before the episode 3 dropped, talking about how episode 3's post-credit scene was gonna be crazy. It was gonna change the MCU. It was gonna top the Spider-Man No Way Home cameos and twists and all that. But obviously he was trolling, because if you've seen episode 3, at the end of episode 3, Megan Thee Stallion and She-Hulk or Jennifer Walters are twerking, which is pretty cool. I enjoyed it. I've mentioned before in my other reviews for She-Hulk that I do have a big crush on She-Hulk, so it was pretty cool to see her. Not something I was looking for, but like it was cool to see that. I like how the show is kind of really getting into that adult, laid back feel to it. Like I feel like finally Marvel is starting to really ease into more of little of the edgier side. I mean, twerking is not edgy, but like you get what I'm saying. Like at the end of episode 1, at the post-credit scene where they're talking about Captain America losing his virginity, and she kind of ends with the episode saying, Captain America, fuck. It's like they're slowly creeping us into, more R-rated content for MCU going forward. I know Kevin Feige before said they wouldn't do that, but you have Deadpool 3 on the way. You have Blade, which they said there was going to be PG-13, but I think they're really going to ride on that at the end of the line with that. But with all that being said, overall, I really did enjoy this episode. I loved it. I gave it a 7.7 out of 10 for my TikTok review, and I think I'm going to stick with that. So I'm going to give this episode 3 of She-Hulk 7.7 out of 10. And yeah, I really did enjoy it. Please hit the subscribe button. I didn't say it right. Hit the subscribe button and comment down below and tell me what you thought about episode 3 of She-Hulk. And and again, subscribe to Cinema Fans, the home of fans of cinema. I gotta change a phrase for that. That's just, it doesn't roll off the tongue like my old reference when I said best in the business, you dig, and all that. But anyway, besides all that, please subscribe to Cinema Fans, the home for fans of cinema, and tell me what you thought about She-Hulk episode 3. And thank you for watching. Bye-bye now.